always stop before I turn the camera on?
Because I like to make faces at you while you're getting the camera ready. Hey guys, welcome to Hurting Little Cows to the Glory of God. It is July 19th. It's Tuesday. We have had one full week of no big, fat, bad seizures with this guy. He still had, if you've been around us and you've seen his seizure activity, he still has his little look off ones, or he'll say, I'm feeling bad, and he'll sit down, but he hasn't had the seizures, or the really scared, I try to jump out of the room seizures, or the shaky seizures.
Changing the clothes, and there's a lot that goes into those seizures, and
yes,
falling and all that.
Yes, we have had multiple falls from those types of seizures. We've had like bedwetting or clothes wetting in the those seizures. We've had him literally try to jump off the bed into people by accident, not knowing they were there. So
okay,
that's
so
all bad.
a month
ago?
29 seizures in a week.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago.
26 seizures in a week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, we had started going off the medication. He had 9. The next week, he had 5. This week he had 5 seizures, but they were all last Tuesday.
They were all last Tuesday during the storm and everything. But
there was a storm, and he was really excited about his birthday, which was coming up. So, between those two things.
But he hasn't had one since last Tuesday, and it's now Tuesday night.
Things that people might not think of. Birthdays can be seizure-inducing.
Yeah.
Just welcome to the world of disabilities.
The therapy center we work with specifically talks about when Christmas came up and they would send kids, home. They were in this one therapy group home or something, I don't remember. And they were sending kids home, and it was talking about how they'd have extra seizures because they were excited about it. So anyway, whatever's out there smells really good. Okay, so Naomi's out there cooking. So today was a busy day. This guy's asleep, finally. Today was hot. So for you people who live out of state, I know it probably doesn't sound hot, but we got up to 88, 89 today.
89.
It was warm. Maine is very humid, and I don't know. We're not used to this temperature.
People from all over the world come here and say, man, it's hotter here than what it says.
Yeah, because we don't have, we don't have all of our buildings air conditioned.
Right.
So most of the places around here, most actual homes might have a air conditioning unit in a room. So you can make one room cool if you have air conditioning, but it's not the full, I don't know. We've lived all over the country, and there's some places that get very hot in the summer where people live in air conditioning. We have a cat in our backyard. You go from one place to another air-conditioned place. So you go from your house to the store that's air-conditioned to your office that's air-conditioned. Most places in Maine are not air-conditioned. So if you want to get away...
What you making?
Hot.
Sorry.
Hot momo.
It's so good, you just gotta put it in. Okay, reminds me of a story. I'm trying to catch up with an old friend from school who I just found out is in town. This hot stuff reminds me. When we were in school, we had this one teacher who would send us home with take-home tests. And so there were these big, long chemistry equations and physics equations, different years. And we would have a week to work on these tests, but we had our regular school days and everything. So people would come to my house because my house was the place to go. And it's because my mom always made food and let everyone hang out as long as they wanted. So it wasn't because I was cool or anything.
Yeah, certainly wasn't that.
They liked my dad. It was everyone liked my dad. That's kind of what it was. And my mom made food. So anyway, we would have these take-home tests. And there were certain people who did more of the work on the take-home tests, and certain people did less of the work on the take-home tests. I won't tell you which people these were, but there were some young men in the group who regularly burnt their mouth on the cookies my mom was pulling out of the oven because they didn't give them time to even fully get out of the oven before they started pulling them off the tray. So, it just reminded me of that. So, why do we have pie crust? You guys can explain this before.
Because Mommy doesn't like pie. She's not a big pie person. And today, Naomi and I went over to Faith's house. Faith is one of our elders' wives. And so technically we went to Phil's house, but we only saw her. So we went and hung out with Faith while she made pies, which she made, 8, 12 while we were there. She made a bunch of pies while we were there today. And she had Naomi make a pie, which we brought home. So we got apple pie.
And we promptly ate.
Yeah, we promptly ate.
It was good.
It was
Thanks,
really
Faith.
good. So that was a blessing. But we didn't just go to talk about pies. We did talk about pie some, but we talked about favorite missionaries and where we were reading in Bible and prayer and how she prays, because she has a lot of time while she makes pies to be praying for people. And so instead of just falling into like a rote prayer, how does she how would she talk about prayer life? And so she really enjoys praying through scripture and knowing people individually to know how to be praying for them specifically. And we talked about what lessons God has taught us, shared some stories because the people that they bought the house from, we just had some mutual stories of God's faithfulness throughout the years. And so that was really
and
fun.
you spent a lot of time in that house when you were little. You might not even remember it, but you spent a lot of time.
I remember it. So it was really funny because she bought it, they bought it from our other friends. And so I haven't been in that house since I was, 5? Did we go back to it once we left?
No.
Okay. So I was probably about 5, not quite 6. And so it had been a really long time. And so, like, at one point when I was there, I'm like, is there a bedroom behind these closets? And she's like, no, that's a bathroom. And I'm like, okay, so maybe, like, because the friend who used to live in there, who built the house, at one point was really sick. And so he was sleeping on that side of the house. But I'm like, I was thinking that he was really sick on this part of the house, but there's no bedroom here. So maybe we just visited him here? So it was like kind of vague memory, which it turns out he was staying in that part of the house. So I don't know when that was, how old I was, but I do remember that much of the house and maybe a little bit of the kitchen.
It's a beautiful house.
It's a beautiful house. It's amazing.
So the pie crust is from dough Naomi made. So tell us about that.
Yeah, when I made my my first pie, I
Last week.
made extra pie crusts and put it in the freezer. So I pulled some out tonight for Mommy for pie crust with like cinnamon and sugar on it because she doesn't like pie. So
What do you like crust?
I did eat your chocolate pie. I'm not a big fan of fruit in desserts. Strawberry shortcake is the only fruit and dessert I can think I like. I'm not a fan of like apple cobbler or peach buckle
Blueberry,
you like
or whatever they
baked
call.
apples?
I don't really like baked apples.
Oh,
I'm just like that. I'm not really that type of person. So like the pie she brought home tonight was apple pie, which that's fine. Everyone else loved it. That's just not my thing. So she made me these pie crusts because she's sweet. But I kind of ruined her surprise because she had taken the pie crust out of the freezer to thaw a little bit and had like hid it behind something. Well, I thought that myself or Mark had accidentally gone through when we were cleaning out some stuff earlier and taken it out and not returned it to the freezer. So almost ruined that. Okay, so do you guys have anything else to say about that? Because I have to hit send. I'm talking to our friend that we're going to stay with in a couple days, so I'm just having to.
Not about faith, but I mean, besides we had a really good time there.
faith or faith, like
Choose faith.
Faith, like
the
yes,
person?
that one, the person. Faith. We also picked some zucchinis from the garden this morning, and sugar snap peas, and then I picked more sugar snap peas and ate a lot of sugar snap peas.
So did I.
Yeah.
I didn't pick them.
Okay, pause. Wayland just sent pictures of baby kittens. Tiny baby kitten. So anyway.
So tiny. Those are so cute. Oh.
So anyway,
Alright.
so today, what did we do today? We got up. Actually, baby got up this morning right around the normal time. He was only about 5 or 10 minutes late, so that was good. I ran around changing people's diapers and all the stuff that I do in the morning.
I changed my own.
Good job, Mark. So this might be changing in the future, but right now, because Josiah was having so many seizures, I mean, we said a couple weeks ago he had 29 in a week. So that's how many a day? 4 or 5 a day. So, and they are usually either as he's going to sleep or as he's waking up, within an hour of waking up. So our normal morning used to be one of us would take Josiah to the bathroom, and then Josiah would sit with the other parent while us parents did our morning bathroom, and then he would sit with whoever wasn't getting everybody else, dressed for the day and everything, because we still have a lot of little ones in the house that need help with the dressing. So, but now with him not having so many seizures, we have a little more freedom in asking one of his siblings. Like, the girls have always been able to watch him in those situations, but they have things they're doing in the morning. Like, Naomi makes breakfast in the morning, Virginia wipes down the bathroom and stuff. So I don't usually ask them unless it's a real need, of like, I need someone to watch Josiah, so I can use the bathroom because Daddy's changing a poopy diaper or whatever, like a big need like that. But now that he's doing so much better, I feel comfortable that Samuel or Abigail can keep an eye on him because they know the basics of what to do to say, hey, somebody come help me. It's not like we're leaving him totally alone with them. But like it used to be, we felt one of us needed to be sitting in the room with Josiah with eyes on him.
But like our living room, dining room area is really open. So if and kitchen. So if Naomi's sitting in the kitchen and they're in the living...
She's making breakfast.
Sorry.
She's not sitting in the
Right. If she's standing in the kitchen making breakfast and Josiah's sitting in the living room with Abigail or Samuel, it's a matter of seconds to walk across to help him. It's not like we're in other rooms of the house.
Yeah. So anyway, we have a little more freedom, so that might be changing up our morning routine. Anyway, this is really good. I can't stop eating it while we have our video. So, was there something else? No, I was thinking that I had something else. I'll explain what I was doing in the kitchen that I thought I had to remember. Anyway, so I got up and got people dressed this morning. We have birds going crazy outside. Do you want to let the bird chorus be heard?
Quietest they've been all.
Yes. As soon as he went to the window, they stopped.
We stopped talking, they stopped talking.
Anyway, we did our morning thing. We had we had to really prompt Josiah to crawl today. He was not in the mood for crawling, and so that took a little more of our time and effort. This morning it was hot. This morning it was really hot. Like, it was already hot at the start of the day, only getting hotter. So after the other kids got their chores done, they went outside while I was still in here working with Josiah. And it was really hot. So they went and did they checked the garden and got some zucchinis.
And Malachi ate a zucchini. Because we just eat them raw sometimes. And how much of that zucchini did he eat?
Probably 3/4 of it.
He ate so much zucchini.
Big cucumber-sized zucchini.
Yeah, like before lunch, he just sat there eating the zucchini. And we ate some sugar snap
We
peas
got to
and-
lunch and he didn't want to eat the roasted zucchini. He likes raw zucchini.
Yes, so he ate a lot of zucchini. And then we had picked, 3 this morning. So we ate 1 raw. Then we had those 2, plus 2 more from the garden the other day. So we ate zucchini for lunch. That was good.
Yeah. So we, after Josiah finished his crawl, we went outside and we went on a walk. Oh, what were we doing? I don't know.
I was inside.
I don't know.
My hair's a mess or something? You're like staring at me funny.
No.
Okay.
The light is shining off your head, and it looks like your head. You look like you have a big forehead. You don't. But
Okay.
You look like you do.
He's looking at me really
It's
funny,
'cause
so
of the
I don't
way
know what
it's-
the...
light's
Okay.
hitting it. It's
So
really
anyway,
weird.
we went outside. We played ball with
That's
Josiah
okay.
for a little bit. The kids were running around building tents and things, and we knew that we had to get inside because it was going to get hot. So, I remember what else we did. I was like, we did more this morning. Why does this feel so weird? I forgot. When we woke up this morning, it was raining. And so I played 2 rounds of Ticket to Ride. We have like the Young Explorers, I think it's called, which is like the earliest version of the game. And I played 2 rounds of that. So I played with Samuel, Abigail, and Uriah in the first round. And then in the next round, I played with Josiah, Uriah, and Abigail. And Abigail figured the game out last year. Josiah kind of figured it a little bit last year, but because of his meds, he had trouble, but he had no trouble this time figuring out how to play it. And Uriah actually totally got it this time, and he played the first game we played today. He would have won on the next turn, like Abigail won, but he had 1 turn left. He would have been able to do it. So
It's gonna be 5 next
yeah, he'll be 5 next month, but he just caught on to it really quick. So if you're looking for a game, that was from Wes and Angela. So thank you guys. We do play it. It's good. So when it rained this morning, we stayed in and played some games before the rain cleared off. Then Josiah had to crawl again. He didn't want to. I stayed in here with him. The other kids all went outside. All of that happened. When we came back inside, we got ready for lunch, which Virginia had made. So Virginia, what do we have? Oh, Naomi, you can tell what we had for breakfast. It wasn't anything too exciting.
We had eggs with some leftover buns because our extended family got together in Ohio and they had a bunch of leftovers, so they sent us some leftover buns. So we had those for breakfast.
They were driving from Ohio here. They didn't like pack up a box and ship it to us or anything. They just brought it home with them. And some corn. We had corn with lunch. So Ohio sweet corn is.
We don't like to cook anything.
Yeah, we don't like to
we
cook
did it
anything.
raw. Yeah, we did everything raw.
It was really good, and it's really good cooked too. But it's delicious raw. So we ate raw sweet corn. And
If you've never had raw sweet corn, you need to have it.
yes.
And the baby?
Oops.
I ate mine, and then I gave the baby, and he just sat there and off the end of it. He liked it.
Yes. So we had sweet corn and roasted zucchinis and potatoes and
Roasted.
some,
You
like
ate those
roasted
raw.
potatoes. We didn't eat those raw.
I think I did
Although
raw.
great grandma from Ohio does eat raw potatoes.
I don't know if she still does, but she
I'm
had
not
it
sure
in
if you're
the
supposed to do that, but
Yeah, but like when you're cutting up potatoes for mashed potatoes, just eat a piece raw. That sort of thing. I don't know that she'd eat like a whole potato raw. So
Fresh
we
in
had
the garden.
potatoes and we had some leftover chili, like a really hearty meat veggie chili the other day. Did it have any beans in it? Okay, beans and meat and veggies. So we had that with our potatoes and zucchini.
But it had lots of veggies.
Yes, and it was really good with roasted zucchini. You can eat them
It
together.
was.
That was good. So that's what we had for lunch.
Hello. Tell more.
What we ate?
What
What
hurts?
else? That's what we ate for lunch.
Your leg hurts.
And then
She saw the bacon. Okay, we can come
Okay.
back to her. Abigail is having some undetermined, like undiagnosed,
Non-specific. Yeah.
non-specific pain. I think she's growing because it's sometimes in her leg. Yeah, it's sometimes in her legs. It's sometimes in her arms. Sometimes in her belly. We had a chiropractor appointment last Wednesday, and we have another one tomorrow. She had a bunch of stuff out in her back and neck, which would have explained some of the tummy stuff. And you did feel better that day after we saw the chiropractor.
You
and
could
we have
really
a
smile.
regular
Can you
doctor's
smile?
appointment coming up soon.
Yes. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll go to the regular doctor the start of August. That was the earliest appointment they had. If she was like losing weight or not eating or things like that, it would definitely be a bigger deal. But there's
When we were in Tennessee.
like when we were in Tennessee. So all of this started back in Tennessee. She got sick with like a stomach bug, and then it took her a while to get back to like totally eating normal food. But then she got back to it, but there's some emotion stuff dealt with it, because that's why they explain that your emotions are in your stomach. Like you say, I have butterflies in my stomach. What does Vody say about it? It's your intestines.
Oh yeah,
I love you with my bowels.
yeah.
But when you have
You
those,
can keep all your bowel love to yourself.
but when you have those feelings of like
Oh,
really
love
strong
language.
feelings of being scared or being sad or being upset by something, you feel all of that in your stomach. And so Abigail's sickness, like she had an actual sickness, but it ended right about the time, like the actual sickness ended right about the time that your Josiah ended up in the ICU. And so there was some unhealed gut stuff. If you do more natural things, you kind of know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to sound like I'm some new age voodoo person. But that's really where your emotions do lie. And so when you have a stomach bug or something like that, that is then triggered by extra anxiety stuff, it's harder for your gut to recover from that. So anyway, we are going to see the chiropractor again tomorrow, and then we'll see the doctor, I think, in a week or two. But we have appointments all set up. We've been doing stuff. But at this time of night, if she's had a hard time falling asleep, she seems to feel these aches and pains more, because growing pains hurt, don't they? So if you need some ice or some heat for your arm or leg, whatever you told me hurt. What, your leg? Okay. Your legs sometimes hurt and your arms sometimes hurt, right?
Yeah.
I forgot what you said. Okay. So you go find your heat and...
You may not touch this.
That's the only reason she came in. She wants pie crust.
Okay, so anyway.
Good night, Abigail. Bye.
So we had, what was I gonna say? We had our lunch, and then we went to we did our Bible time, but Mark was having a really hard time after lunch.
I fell asleep, actually.
Yeah, he was having a really hard time and then fell asleep in the chair. So all the stuff after lunch, like getting Josiah to do another crawl, which did go better, and then putting diapers on the people who are going to take naps and getting the table cleaned off and all of those things that need prompting from parents sometimes. I was doing all those things because Mark had fallen asleep in the chair. And Mark had a really hard day yesterday because of the barometric pressure, so I'm not saying this bad against Mark. It was just extra chaos.
I don't know what's wrong with me. It's been a couple of weeks that I've been much slower, but the last couple of days have been really good.
But, so it was just those things like, I can tell the kids to clean the table off, but sometimes if I'm not in the room, they get interested in something else and forget. So just reminding them. But when you're not sitting there, it's easy when I'm sitting there watching Josiah crawl, because Josiah's crawling track is in the kitchen. It's easy to be like, hey guys, did you go put a book away? Now come back and finish this. But today I was running around doing a lot of stuff, so that was harder. So anyway, we finally sat down for Bible. We did Joshua 7 with Achan. So they had plundered, Jericho had been, the wall had fallen down. They were supposed to burn everything, except they were supposed to take silver and gold and things for the tabernacle, temple, whatever. So they were supposed to take that stuff for that. Achan took stuff that he hid in his tent that he was going to keep for himself. So the people of Israel decided, let's go attack Ai. There's not that many men. Let's just send 3,000. It'll be easy. Well, they send the men. 36 of Israelites get killed, and Ai runs them out of town. So Joshua goes and he's like, God, why? Why don't you let us win this? And God's like, you guys are sinning against me. There's one person in your camp who's done what he shouldn't have done. And how much are we like that as a nation? We wonder why God isn't blessing us because yay, Roe versus Wade got overturned. But as a nation, we still really do hate children. We just now have different people making decisions from what happened before. So it's one of those...
hasn't even slowed down either.
Yeah.
Just so we're all clear on
that. Most places there's more abortion.
The truth is that there's actually more going on right now.
Yeah. So, anyway, so we did that for Bible time. The girls left to go do the pie baking that they told you about. We stayed home. Mark still wasn't feeling very good. But I did we listened to a couple different... ancient music. We listened to Chinese music and Indian, music from India and Mayan music, and we were listening for drums and flutes and strings. We listened to a really cool instrument called a pipa that was from China, or a pipa, or a pipa. I don't know how you say it. P-I-P-A. And so we listened to that. And so we were listening to that, and then we're learning 1 John, that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes. And so then the kids, we learned about ears yesterday. Today we learned about eyes and the different parts of our eyes and how we see. So we did that. I got the kids some bingo markers for using for school. And so we used those for a little bit, and it was really hot, and we didn't want to go sit out in the sun. So I got out a big tub that we put water in, and we put ice cubes in, and the kids were using scoops and stuff to collect the ice cubes and everything. So after we did that, I can hold this bit. Okay. So after we did that, we did our supper and all of those things. And then I made yogurt and stuff for our trip tomorrow. And I will tell you more about that tomorrow, but we need to go see what's going on with Abigail. So we'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.